days of reggae saw plenty of exploitation of artists by unscrupulous record producers, and Jimmy Cliff is said to have actually sold the rights of his first song for a shilling. But more about record producers later on in the programme. Let's look now at how reggae changed and developed in those 15 years since it started in Kingston. To me, one of the most interesting things about reggae is that its success hasn't depended on live concerts by reggae bands or by constant radio time. Concerts have been few and far between and airtime relatively limited. It's really grown up around the so-called sound system, which is a souped-up mobile disco that plays in clubs, dance halls or even people's front rooms. In fact, sound system DJs were amongst the first people to make reggae records. If a DJ wanted to have a hit that you could only hear on his personal sound system, he would hire a studio and musicians to record something for his own exclusive use and press the records on his own label so you could only hear it if you went along to his gigs. In the studio we have one of London's most popular.
Rocking around the clock. In this club, Friday, Saturday and Sunday night. Rapper, rock and soul. Cheer up. Rock and soul. I tell rock. I tell sounds.
Hold it. Hello, Fat Man.
Hi, Jan.
Now, what's this guy doing?
He's giving them a touch of the roots, you know?
Yeah? Now, what's your name, sorry?
Well, let me check out as Eroy.
OK, Eroy, what are you doing exactly?
Well, actually, I'm just talking on the music to make the people feel higher, you know?
Yeah, and what's it called?
Well, it's toasting.
It's called toasting?
Yeah.
And you make up different words for every record?
Yeah, as you go along, you know?
Yeah, what sort of things do you say?
Well, you get the feeling, you just make them enjoy, you say, love is lovely, ital sound, which means jungle fresh music, you know?
Yeah.
Dub music, which is dub-wise music, you know?
Yeah, so you just helping him to enjoy the record better?
You know?
Great. Now, Fat Man's going to play us some of the different kinds of reggae from the past 15 years or so, and he's brought along some dancers to show us the dances that go with them. Now, this is ska, isn't it?
Yes, it's a number called The Guns of Navarone by a group of musicians who dominated the ska era from the late 50s right through to the beginning of Rocksteady in 1965. They're called the Scatterlights and were all professional musicians with a jazz training. Artists like Roland Alfonso on sax, Don Drummond on trombone, and as well as making their own records, they backed almost every major act from Jamaica during this period.
In the early 60s, Jamaican immigrants brought reggae over here, and in England it was almost exclusively handled by two companies, Island and Melodisc. Melodisc's label was called Bluebeat, and that's what the English fans called ska. It became a brief craze amongst mods like myself and Jamaicans living in England, and in the early 60s, Jimmy Cliff arrived in England to cash in on the boom. Millie Small took My Boy Lollipop to the top of the charts in 1964, and for a while it looked as if reggae had really arrived.